Welcome everyone to our complete guide to generative AI. I'm excited to take you on a journey through one of the most transformative technologies of our time. Let me start with a question. Can you imagine typing just a few sentences and instantly getting back a detailed, original poem? Or describing an idea in your head and watching as a computer generates a stunning piece of digital art? What about writing a simple concept and having AI create a full video complete with storyline and visuals? This might sound like science fiction, but it's happening right now. We've all become familiar with AI that can recognize our faces in photos or filter spam from our emails. But generative AI represents a fundamental leap forward. It's not just about understanding and categorizing the world around us. It's about creating entirely new things within that world. By the end of our time together, you'll have a crystal clear understanding of what generative AI really is and how it works behind the scenes. We'll explore real examples of how it's already reshaping industries from marketing and education to healthcare and entertainment. So what exactly is generative AI? The simplest way to understand it is through comparison. Traditional AI is like a very sophisticated pattern recognition system. If you show it 1,000 pictures, it can learn to identify which ones contain cats. Its job is to classify and understand existing information. Generative AI takes this a giant step further. Instead of just recognizing cats in pictures, it studies thousands of cat images to understand their features, proportions, and characteristics. Then, when you ask it to, it can create a brand new image of a cat that has never existed before, one that's completely original yet looks perfectly realistic. That's the key difference: creation versus classification. Generative AI has 4 defining characteristics that set it apart. First, it creates truly original content. It's not just copying and pasting from a database, it's synthesizing learned patterns to produce something genuinely new and unique. Second, it requires massive data training. We're talking about billions of words, millions of images, or thousands of hours of audio. This enormous scale of training is what allows it to understand the subtle patterns and relationships that make realistic creation possible. Third, it excels at natural language interaction. You can talk to it conversationally, give it instructions in plain English, and it understands your intent intuitively. Finally, it's multi-format capable. The same underlying principles work for text, images, audio, video, and even functional computer code. This versatility is what makes it so powerful across different industries and use cases. I like to think of generative AI as a master artist or skilled craftsperson. When a master painter creates a new work, they are not simply copying another painting. Instead, they've spent years studying thousands of artworks, understanding the principles of color theory, composition, light, and shadow. They internalize these patterns and relationships, then apply that knowledge to create something entirely original. Generative AI works in a remarkably similar way. It has studied massive amounts of data to learn the art form of whatever medium it's working in. Whether that's the structure of language, the composition of images, or the patterns of music, it learns these fundamental principles and then applies them to generate new content in any style you request. The most visible form of generative AI today is the large language model, or LLM. These are incredibly sophisticated neural networks that have been trained on vast datasets containing text from across the internet, books, articles, and other written sources. Here's what's fascinating. Their core function is actually quite simple. They predict the most probable next word in a sequence. But by doing this millions upon millions of times, with incredible sophistication about context and meaning, they can generate coherent paragraphs, detailed articles, or entire essays that read as if they were written by a human expert. The most well-known examples include OpenAI's GPT-4, Google's Gemini, and Anthropic's Claude. Each has been trained slightly differently, giving them distinct personalities and capabilities, but they all operate on this same fundamental principle. While LLMs handle text beautifully, we now have specialized models for every type of creative medium you can imagine. Image generators like DALL-E, Midjourney, and Stable Diffusion have been trained on billions of images paired with their text descriptions. You can give them a prompt like a knight riding a bicycle through a field of sunflowers, and they'll create a corresponding image that captures exactly what you described. For audio and music, systems like Suno and AIVA can compose original songs, generate realistic sound effects, or even create synthetic voices based on simple text prompts or musical themes you provide. Video generation is still emerging but incredibly promising. Models like Sora and Runway ML are being developed to generate high-quality video clips from text descriptions, opening up entirely new possibilities for filmmaking and content creation. And for those in the tech world, coding assistants like GitHub Copilot and Code-T5 have been trained on vast repositories of code to help developers by suggesting code snippets, completing functions, and even debugging existing programs. The training process behind these models is both elegant and incredibly complex. Let me break it down into three main phases. First is massive data ingestion. The AI is fed millions or even billions of examples of its target medium. For a text model, this might be books, articles, and web pages. For an image model, it could be photographs, paintings, and illustrations along with their descriptions. Next comes pattern recognition. The AI's neural network, which is loosely inspired by how human brains process information, analyzes all this data to learn patterns, grammar, relationships, and context. For an image model, this might mean learning how faces are typically structured, how light and shadow interact, or how different objects relate to each other in space. Finally, once trained, the model is ready for generation. It can take these learned patterns and apply them to a completely new prompt, essentially working like a highly sophisticated autocompleter that builds its response piece by piece based on what it has learned. When you interact with generative AI, you're participating in an elegant three-step dance. First, you provide input, your prompt or instruction to the AI. This could be as simple as write a poem about rain, or as complex as a detailed creative brief. Next, the AI processes your request. It analyzes your prompt and compares it against the vast knowledge base it acquired during training. It's trying to understand not just the literal words you've used, but your intent, the context you're working in, and the type of output you're hoping to receive. Finally comes generation. The AI begins producing output, often one small piece at a time, what we call tokens, which might be words, punctuation marks, or even parts of words. It continuously predicts the next most likely token until the response is complete. The quality of this output is directly tied to how well you've crafted your initial prompt. This brings us to one of the most important skills in working with generative AI, prompt engineering. The difference between a weak prompt and a strong prompt can be the difference between getting generic, unhelpful output and receiving exactly what you need. Let me give you an example. A weak prompt might be simply write something about dogs. This is vague and gives the AI no direction about length, tone, purpose, or focus. A strong prompt would be, write a 200-word informative paragraph about golden retrievers as family pets. Focus on their gentle temperament, their need for regular exercise, and their care requirements such as grooming. This prompt is specific about length, defines the audience and purpose, and gives clear direction on what topics to cover. The key elements of effective prompting are being specific about what you want, providing clear context for your request, and giving the AI enough direction to understand your intent without being so rigid that you limit its creativity. Now, While generative AI is incredibly powerful, it's crucial to understand its limitations. These tools are not magic, and they are not infallible. First and most importantly, AI is fundamentally a pattern-matching tool, not a sentient being. It doesn't think or know things in the way humans do. It's making sophisticated predictions based on patterns it learned during training. This leads to what we call hallucinations, instances where the AI confidently generates information that sounds plausible but is actually incorrect. Because the system is based on probabilities rather than facts, it can sometimes create convincing-sounding nonsense. Most models also have training data cutoffs, meaning their knowledge has a specific end date. They can't access real-time information unless specifically designed to do so, which means they might not know about very recent events or developments. Finally, AI can reflect and amplify biases present in its training data. If the data overrepresents certain groups or viewpoints, the AI's output may do the same. This is why it's essential to always combine AI output with human judgment, critical thinking, and fact-checking. Let's explore how generative AI is transforming specific industries, starting with content creation and marketing. For writers, AI has become an invaluable brainstorming partner. It can generate blog post outlines, create engaging social media captions, draft email marketing campaigns, and even help with creative writing projects. Designers are using AI to rapidly prototype logos, create website mockups, and develop advertising concepts. What used to take days of iteration can now be accomplished in hours. Video producers are leveraging AI for automated editing, generating synthetic presentations from scripts, and creating visual effects that would have been prohibitively expensive just a few years ago. The real power here is scalability. A small marketing team, or even a single individual, can now produce a comprehensive marketing campaign, complete with written content, visual assets, and video materials, in a fraction of the time it would have taken using traditional methods. This democratizes high-quality content creation in unprecedented ways. In education, generative AI is creating possibilities we've never had before. Students can have access to personalized AI tutors that adapt to their individual learning style and pace. These systems can explain complex concepts in multiple ways until the student understands, provide practice problems at the appropriate difficulty level, and offer conversational practice for language learners. For educators, AI dramatically reduces administrative burden. Teachers can generate customized lesson plans, create quizzes and assessments tailored to their curriculum, and develop educational materials that match their students' specific needs and interests. Imagine having a personal AI assistant that can explain quantum physics in the style of your favorite movie character, or help you practice conversational Spanish with infinite patience. These aren't future possibilities, they are available today. The potential to personalize education at scale represents one of the most exciting applications of this technology. For businesses across industries, generative AI is automating countless routine tasks and freeing up human workers to focus on higher-value activities. AI-powered chatbots provide 24/7 customer service, handling routine inquiries and escalating complex issues to human agents when necessary. Data analysts can now query complex datasets using natural language instead of needing to write specialized code. You can literally ask questions like, "What were our top-selling products last quarter in the Northeast region?" and get comprehensive reports generated automatically. Administrative tasks that used to consume hours each week, drafting emails, writing meeting summaries, creating documentation, generating reports, can now be largely automated. This isn't about replacing human workers. It's about eliminating the tedious, repetitive tasks so people can focus on strategic thinking, relationship building, and creative problem solving. In creative industries, AI is proving to be a powerful collaborator rather than a replacement. Artists and designers use AI for rapid concept development, generating multiple variations of an idea and exploring creative directions they might not have considered otherwise. Musicians are using AI to compose new melodies, create backing tracks, generate sound effects, and even experiment with entirely new musical styles. Writers are leveraging AI for brainstorming sessions, overcoming writer's block, developing character backgrounds, and exploring different narrative possibilities. In the gaming industry, AI is being used to generate game assets, create textures and environments, and even develop dynamic storylines that adapt to player choices. The key insight here is that AI works best as a creative partner. It can generate raw material, provide inspiration, and handle technical execution, but the vision, curation, and final creative decisions still come from human artists. This collaboration often leads to results that neither human nor AI could achieve alone. In scientific and medical fields, generative AI is accelerating research and discovery in remarkable ways. In drug discovery, AI can simulate molecular structures and predict how different compounds might behave, potentially reducing the time and cost of bringing new medications to market from decades to years. Medical imaging is being revolutionized by AI systems that can identify patterns and anomalies that might be missed by human analysis. These tools assist radiologists and other specialists in making more accurate diagnoses and catching diseases earlier. For researchers across all scientific disciplines, AI can process and summarize vast amounts of academic literature, identify connections between seemingly unrelated studies, and even generate new research hypotheses for investigation. It's crucial to emphasize that in these critical fields, AI serves as an assistive tool designed to enhance professional expertise, not replace human judgment. The final decisions about patient care, research directions, and treatment options always remain with qualified professionals. But by handling information processing and pattern recognition at superhuman scale and speed, AI allows experts to focus their time and expertise where it matters most. The best way to understand generative AI is to experience it firsthand, and fortunately, there are excellent free tools available to get you started right away. For text generation and conversational AI, try ChatGPT or Google Gemini. These platforms are perfect for brainstorming ideas, summarizing documents, writing emails, or just having exploratory conversations about topics you're curious about. For image creation, DALL-E is integrated into several AI platforms and allows you to generate images from scratch using simple text descriptions. Start with something fun, describe your dream vacation destination, or imagine what your pet would look like as a superhero. If you're interested in coding, GitHub Copilot offers free access to students and provides real-time coding assistance that can dramatically speed up development work and help you learn new programming concepts. The key is to start experimenting. Don't worry about creating something perfect on your first try. Focus on understanding how these tools think and respond to different types of prompts. As you begin your journey with generative AI, here are some best practices that will help you get better results right from the start. First, always start with clear, specific prompts. The more descriptive and contextual you can be, the better the AI will understand what you're looking for. Don't be afraid to include details about tone, length, audience, and purpose. Second, embrace iteration and refinement. If your first result isn't quite right, don't give up. Adjust your prompt, add more context, or try a different approach. Think of it as a conversation where you're gradually steering toward your desired outcome. Third, always fact-check important information. Remember that AI can generate convincing-sounding content that may not be accurate. Use these tools for ideation and drafting, but verify facts and critical details through reliable sources. Finally, Combine AI output with human judgment. The most powerful results come from collaboration, using AI to handle the heavy lifting while applying your expertise, creativity, and critical thinking to guide the process and refine the results. Looking ahead, the field of generative AI is evolving at an unprecedented pace. One of the most exciting developments is multimodal AI, systems that can seamlessly handle text, images, and audio simultaneously. Imagine describing a marketing concept and having AI generate the written copy, visual design, and even a voiceover for a video ad, all perfectly coordinated. We're also seeing the emergence of specialized models designed for specific industries. Legal AI trained on case law and regulations, medical AI with deep knowledge of clinical research, financial AI that understands market dynamics. These specialized tools will provide increasingly sophisticated assistance in professional contexts. Perhaps most importantly, AI is becoming invisibly integrated into the software we use every day. Soon, your word processor will have AI writing assistants built in, your design tools will offer AI-powered creative suggestions, and your communication apps will help you craft more effective messages. The pace of this change means that staying current requires continuous learning and adaptation. So how do you prepare for this rapidly evolving future? The most important step is developing AI literacy now. Take time to understand how these tools work, what they are good at, and what their limitations are. The more you understand the technology, the better positioned you'll be to leverage it effectively. Equally important is focusing on skills that complement AI rather than compete with it. Critical thinking becomes more valuable when you need to evaluate AI-generated content. Creativity becomes more important when AI can handle routine execution. Communication skills become crucial when you need to craft effective prompts and collaborate with AI systems. Strategic thinking, emotional intelligence, and complex problem-solving are all areas where humans continue to excel and where there will be increasing demand as AI handles more routine tasks. Let me leave you with 4 key takeaways from our time together today. First, generative AI creates original content from scratch rather than just analyzing existing data. This is a fundamental shift that opens up entirely new possibilities. Second, it's actively transforming every industry by automating routine tasks and amplifying human creativity and productivity. Third, these tools are accessible right now and improving rapidly. You don't need to wait for the future. You can start experimenting and learning today. Finally, the most powerful combination is human creativity and expertise working together with AI capabilities. This isn't about replacement. It's about amplification. I want you to take action this week. Choose one AI tool we've discussed today and spend some time experimenting with it. Try having a conversation with a chatbot, generate an image from your imagination, ask for help with a coding problem, or use AI to assist with a content creation project. The goal isn't to become an expert overnight, but to start developing an intuitive understanding of how these tools work and where they might fit into your personal or professional workflow. Remember, the best way to learn any new technology is through hands-on experience. Thank you for your attention today. I hope this overview has given you both the conceptual understanding and practical tools to begin your own journey with generative AI. Remember, we're all learning together as this technology continues to evolve. The question facing us today isn't whether AI will change your industry or field of work. The question is, will you be ready to collaborate with it? The future belongs to those who embrace this collaboration and learn to combine human insight with AI capabilities. The AI revolution doesn't start with some future breakthrough. It starts with your first prompt. Now, I'd love to hear your questions and discuss how these concepts might apply to your specific interests and challenges. Thanks for watching this video, and if you watched this far, then please give it a like, share it with your friends, and do subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one. Till then, happy learning.